April absolutely flew by, but not without me finding some beautiful books to share with you guys. Get a drink, get cozy, and let's talk about the 8 books that I read in April. Book number 1 is Sandwich by Catherine Newman. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. This is a literary fiction that follows a family on their annual trip to Cape Cod. Our main character is a middle-aged woman who has adult children and elderly parents, and the name of the story, Sandwich, perfectly encapsulates what her life feels like right now. She is sandwiched between her children and her parents, and she is trying to find her own identity. It's not at all a bad book, I'm just not the target audience. Book number 2 is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. This is a 5-star read for me, and every character felt so fleshed out and real, and I truly connected with all of them. It left me feeling heartbroken. It follows our main character, Demon, who is a young boy who goes through the foster care system in Appalachia. It follows the opioid crisis and how that affects his family, his friends, and himself ultimately. Very emotional and powerful, hard-hitting story, but it's told with a narrator who has a very dry, witty, and unique voice, and it makes it so interesting. It's this really cool dynamic between being very serious and heavy and also being witty and entertaining. It's a long book, but it's worth every single page. Next book is a thriller, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. I gave this one a 3, possibly a 3.5 out of 5, I'm not sure yet. The story's set up as a dual timeline. Our main character, who lives in LA, she is ostracized from the small town that she grew up in Texas because she was accused of murdering her best friend. She was never formally charged, but the rumors and the perception of her just forever changed from that, so she moved. No murder weapon was ever found. There was no intent to kill, so she was let off without any sort of charge. She also has no memory of that night. Grandmother calls her and invites her to her birthday party, and she can't say no to her grandmother, so she flies home to Texas for her grandmother's birthday party. And when she gets there, she realizes that a famous podcaster who hosts a true crime podcast is in town diving into her best friend's case. Right off the bat, she is immediately against talking to this guy. She doesn't want anything to do with it. She knows that everybody thinks that she did it, and she is just trying to keep a low profile while she is there for the week. But that's not how it ends up. I enjoyed the plot, I enjoyed the characters, the storyline was good. I just didn't love the way that it wrapped up. It felt like a very run-of-the-mill thriller. For me, it felt similar to a lot of other thrillers that I've read. But if this was like one of my first thrillers getting back into reading, I think I would absolutely devour this. So take that for what it's worth. The next book we have is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is a 3 out of 5. I don't have much to say about this book because I truly just don't think I'm a fan of Grady Hendrix writing. I read only one other book by him, and it was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I might totally be butchering that title, so I'm sorry. And I just didn't like the writing style that much, which is so unfortunate because I feel like he is known as like this campy horror writer, but something about it just doesn't click for me. This book follows our main character, who is a 15-year-old girl who gets sent to a maternity house in Florida. The book takes place in 1970, and at this point in time, it was very socially frowned upon to be pregnant and not married. So these maternity houses served as a place where unwed women could go, be pregnant, have their babies, and then return back to their homes. Exactly what our main character is doing, but while she is there, she stumbles upon a book to learn witchcraft, and it unlocks a whole slew of problems. Times in the book where I was super intrigued, but there were also times in the book where I could not care less and I wanted to put the book down. I also didn't find myself going to pick it back up, which is the main reason why this is getting a 3-star. Julie Chan is Dead by Leanne Zhang. This is truly one of the best books that I've read recently. I loved it. I described this multiple times on my TikTok as Bunny by Mona Awad meets Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Not to throw shade, but a certain book tracking app stole that from me. You know who you are. You know who you are. Anyways, this book follows our main character, who is a twin. Her and her twin were put into foster care as children. One twin went and lived with super rich parents in New York City, and the other was adopted by a distant aunt. One of the sisters is a super famous influencer, like millions of followers, brand trips, all that stuff. She mysteriously dies. So what does her twin sister do but flies across the country and takes over pretending to be Chloe? Since they're identical twins, she passes for the most part, and she gets to experience all the highs and the lows of being an influencer and all of the secrets and the culty aspects of the influencer community and of just rich white people. Such a good book. I truly could not put this one down. I loved it so much. The next book is The Witch of Colchis by Rosie Hewlett. This is a Greek mythology retelling of Medea's story. Medea is a super interesting character in Greek mythology. She is pretty much villainized in every story that she's been a part of. So I was really excited to read a story from her perspective and trying to get that background information for why she did the things that she did. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't anything spectacular, but I did enjoy the story. I think Medea's story is a really difficult one to analyze and humanize, so I definitely give credit to the author because this is a hard story to tell. It wasn't great. I didn't love it. I just liked it. Next, we have The Sirens by Amelia Hart. This is her sophomore novel. The debut is Wayward, and I adored this book, so I was so excited to pick up The Sirens, and it did not disappoint. The main character is a university student in Australia. She wakes up one morning, and she is strangling a boy that she's been seeing in his sleep. She has no idea how she got here. She slept walk, and she is absolutely terrified. One, that he's going to press charges, and two, at what she just did and the fact that she has no recollection of it. The only other person that she knows who has a history with sleepwalking is her older sister, who lives on the other side of the country. So what does she do? She leaves school and drives to find her sister. Meanwhile, we are also reading the perspective of Mary and Eliza, who are two sisters who are banished from Ireland to go on a slave ship to Australia. We get bits and pieces of their story, and we learn that they are physically going through changes as the ship travels across the world. That'll make more sense to you as you read. Back to our present day sisters. When Lucy arrives to her sister's house, her sister is missing. Not only that, but Lucy finds a portrait hanging on an easel that her sister was likely working on. What scares her is that the painting is the exact image that she's been dreaming of for years. So good. It perfectly encapsulates female rage and female empowerment embodied through mythical creatures. I just cannot say enough good things about Amelia Hart's writing. She is so good. 4.5 out of 5. Next book is one that I would not recommend to many people. This is Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. I read this as my monthly book club, which is such a letdown, but it's fine. This book follows our main characters who are an on again, off again, will they, won't they friend situationship, and they are in the music industry. I expected this book to be about an up-and-coming music star and a writer who can't seem to get their timing right. And I thought it was going to be about all the cool ups and downs of the music industry and the writing industry. No. This book was truly 400 pages of back and forth miscommunication, cheating, will they, won't they, and I just could not get through this book fast enough. I did not like it. 2 stars. That's it for my April reads. Let me know down in the comments what you guys read this April. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? And what are you most excited to read this May?